So far, we have learnt about many different bhakti saints from different states. Now, let's learn about more such saints. So, did you like that bhajan? Well, to listen to the full bhajan, click on the link for the iDictionary feature. Now, do you know who composed this bhajan? Well, this was composed by Mirabai. Who was Mirabai? Mirabai was one of the female bhakti saints, and she preached in Hindi and Rajasthani because she preached in Rajasthan. So, she used to be a Rajput queen. However, she gave up everything, she renounced her life just to become a saint, right? And so she was a devotee of Krishna. And as we just saw, she had given up all of the comforts and luxuries of her life. Also, she used to write devotional songs, such as the one that we just heard, and these were called Mira Ke Bhajan. So here you can see the translated version of that bhajan that we just heard. You can even pause the video here and read the whole bhajan. Now next we come to Vallabhacharya. So who was he? Well, he preached in two states, Uttar Pradesh, in Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh, and in Chhattisgarh. And so he used Braj Bhasha, which was a language which was used in the western part of India at that point of time. Now, he was also a devotee of Lord Krishna, and he preached about the message of devotion. So he said that what is important is our love for God. So he preached that message of devotion. Unlike the other saints who had left behind their familial life, who had renounced their worldly desires, he did not do so. He rejected monastic life, and so he lived with his family. Not only that, he also was completely devoted to Lord Krishna, and he also constructed temples on Govardhan Hill, which is near Mathura, and this was as well dedicated to Lord Krishna. Next, we come to Surdas. He preached in two places as well, in Delhi as well as in Uttar Pradesh, and so he used Hindi and Braj Bhasha again. He too, like some of his contemporaries, was a devotee of Lord Krishna and Radha. He also wrote devotional songs and poetry, which later came to be known as Surdas Ke Pad, and he is famous for that. Even in this picture here, you can see various different musical instruments. So from that you can understand how seriously these bhakti saints took their music. So now that we've learnt about so many different bhakti saints, what do we understand from this? Well, firstly, these bhakti saints, they questioned the authority of the Brahmins. Other than that, the main sources of learning for these bhakti saints were the Upanishads, like Gita and the Vedas. So from these they had learned, and they were preaching on to others. Now these bhakti saints were really learned people. Where did they learn from? Well, their sources were the Upanishads, like the Gita and the Vedas. So they were really inspired by these verses, and they preached these things to their students or disciples as well. So what exactly did they preach? Well, they preached about the message of love, devotion and equality. During that point of time, there was the caste system in which people were treated unfairly, right? And so, according to them, what was important was equality. Other than that, people were taking part in expensive rituals and ceremonies. So these saints, these bhakti saints, they said that this is not what is important. What is most important is our love and our devotion towards God. They also participated in public discussions and debates to tell other people their ideas. Now, some of these bhakti saints even wrote commentaries and their views on scriptures. For example, we learnt about Gyaneshwar. He had written a commentary about the Bhagavad Gita, and because of this, the Marathi people were now able to read what the Bhagavad Gita was saying, right? So people were now able to understand things better. So what happened because of such commentaries and views? These helped the people to realize the true essence of the scriptures, and so they felt closer to their gods. Now, These debates and these commentaries later helped give rise to many philosophical ideas. For example, Advaita Vedanta, which was propagated by Shankaracharya. Lastly, these Bhakti saints took music very seriously, as they wrote hymns and preached in regional languages. Before this, the Vedas, the scriptures, everything was written in Sanskrit, and so the common people could not understand it. So they did not have access to their own religious books. However, once these Bhakti saints came into picture, they started preaching in the regional languages. So more and more people could finally understand what these scriptures were talking about. So now these Bhakti saints also had a very big impact, right? So what were these? Let's see. Firstly, the lower class people now had access to the divine knowledge, as we just learnt that these people, these Bhakti saints, were preaching in their regional languages, right? So because of this, the common people could now easily understand what these scriptures were talking about, and so they had access to the divine knowledge. Other than this, the social organization of that time became more flexible. So how did this happen? Well, firstly, the social organization before the Bhakti saints was very rigid, because there was Brahminical supremacy and they used to exploit the people in the lower castes or the poor people, right? However, with the coming in of Bhakti saints, the social organization became much more flexible. So now the poor people, the lower class people, they also had access to their scriptures, and so social discrimination reduced. Before this, religious matters were only handled by the Brahmins who had the knowledge, right? However, after the coming in of the Bhakti saints, public participation in religious matters became prominent. Now, kirtans became popular and were held in large number. Places of religious discussions were established, such as Namghars in Assam. Not only that, but now religious ideas were incorporated in dance forms and also in theatrical performances. For example, we saw how Shankaradeva had included his story of Lord Vishnu in his theatrical performances, which were known as Satriyas, right? So we can understand that now dance forms and theatrical performances were also used for the spread of these Bhakti messages. So these did not only help but also spread the message of Bhakti, but also acted or also provided entertainment to the people of that time. So these were the various impacts that were made by the Bhakti saints. So these were some of the notable Bhakti saints of that time, and they all preached in various different states, but all of these states preached about the message of love, devotion and equality. All of them were against the caste system. They were also against the Brahminical supremacy and also the use of Sanskrit, and that is why they all preached in their own local languages or regional languages, because of which their regional languages also got a boost. These people helped the lower class people to understand what was there in their own scriptures. So overall, we can understand that this Bhakti movement had a positive effect on the society, and the lower caste people, the poor people, finally got a chance to participate in their own religious matters and also understand what was there in their own scriptures. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free on deltastep.com or download the DeltaStep app and get easy access to more than 5,000 amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million+ questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock tests. Get all your doubts resolved instantly. Learn via games and get a chance to win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, it's rewarding too. So register for free now.